So did you see the title of this talk? Oh, by the way, I'm Nan Simonsen. I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach and the author of a book I wrote 5 years ago to celebrate turning 70, and it is Aging Powerfully. And I just got in the mail today. Now, don't do this, don't go there, don't get it now. The only reason we put it live, meaning available on Amazon earlier than the launch date, is because that's the only way I could get it on Audible and get the narrator starting on it. But I wrote my second book. It was just published, was it Monday, a couple of days ago on Amazon, but don't buy it because I have presents, a bonus, either a my Cook, Eat, and Live class that is 7 hours of videos on recipes, um, some recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, a recipe on kitchen gadgets, talking the whole time about whole food, plant-based, and how to make it happen, as well as 28 of my favorite basic recipes. There's that. The other bonus that is offered is something I just created, a 22-page workbook um, on well, kind of what we're talking about a little bit today, and that is, well, not quite, is a reset, a health reset. And this is a perfect time to consider doing it. And it's a workbook. Um, and that's a workshop, but it's all um, on links that you will get if you buy the book on the launch day, December 13th. Um, and send me at, this is my email address. I have this written all over and I've been sending out newsletters, but if you haven't gotten them, Aging Powerfully with Nan is my email. Aging Powerfully with Nan, one long email at gmail.com. Send me the screenshot of the Amazon purchase of the book on the 13th or before. Some people have bought it before, but don't. If you're going to get it for gifts, don't. Wait until December 13th, and that's 2025 in case you see this a lot later. And I will then have you tell me what you prefer, either the cooking class or the workbook. Okay, so back to, oh, so what got me going on this is that I got this today. When I made it live, I thought we would just make it put it back again to the waiting room, so to speak, but we couldn't, or the Amazon thing wouldn't, the audio wouldn't work. So I got myself one to see because the only thing I had seen was the what they call the author's proof. But this is, oh, it looks all washed out. But this is my book, Aging Powerfully, The Journey Continues, How to Keep Growing, Healing, and Thriving at Any Age. And what is this doing? This is celebrating the lessons that I have learned, the truths that I have found, the experiences working with people that I have learned from uh, in time to celebrate my 75th birthday. I'll be 75 now in 1 month, January 9th. This is December 9th. So I wanted to talk to you today now because I, the at the end of this week, am traveling. I will be in Italy and I'll be there for see, that's a stove or a oven burn. I'll be there for 9 days, no, sorry, 8 days. And why are we going now just before Christmas? Because my daughter, my uh, second husband's oldest child, she's 35, and her two children, 2 years old and 5 years old, and her military husband, who is now stationed for 4 years outside of Treviso, Italy. She has a home there, and we're going to see them. They've been there, they need some company. We'll be there for a week and then come home 4 days, 5 days before Christmas. And my cats have someone staying with them here, so everything's taken care of. So I'll be gone, and this may be the last posting of its kind, although I'll probably post on the 23rd. But it'll be too late for this subject. And I wrote this out because I thought, this is something we can consider. And that question, how are you going to end the year strong? As we approach the end of the year, one of the most powerful things we can consider is how are we going to end this year strong, which puts us on footing for a better start to the new year. Um, we don't want to end it crazed, busy, frantic, overwhelmed. What can we do now to put things down in list form, in rational order, to allow us to go into the end of this year and feel somewhat in control of our time and also our productivity? The season naturally invites reflection, although January tends to be a time when people say, oh, I could have, should have done this, that, and the other. The end of the year is a perfect time to say to ourselves and to consider things um, that sort of direct our attention to our, let's say, use of the year that we're in. Um, who have I become this year? What have I learned this year? And I can apply all of this to myself as well. And these are questions I'd like you to maybe jot down. Who have I become? What have I learned? What needs to be released? In other words, what am I holding on to that is not serving me? And um, what's ready, and how am I ready to grow next? Before we rush into improving anything, let's take time to honor what's important, and that is that we made it through the year, that through the challenges, the transitions, the lessons, planned or unplanned, we kept showing up. We made it through the year. What did we do right? What would we like to take with us into the new year about the strength and the pride of our doing that? Um, how did you navigate it? How did you grow? What did you do? Where did you choose courage over comfort? And what did you see as a result of that? Maybe you took better care of your body. Maybe you asked for help when you needed it. Maybe you made space for healing. Maybe you learned new habits that built confidence, or maybe you simply didn't give up on yourself. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a personal story that has to do with that and my legs. What am I talking about? Well, at the beginning of this year, I have a new friend, Janice Anspath Ricky. She's actually in the background. I'm on Zoom and I have a group of people who will have conversations at the end of this with me. And she's there. And she said, hey, Nan, I'm doing a, oh, what is it called? And she's probably yelling it at me now. Um, huh. Anyway, a program, shoot, I'll write it down in the description, a program on building strength. And the purpose was to build actually power, muscular strength. And we did it. I did it. She did it. We did it independently, but we did it. And it was 6 weeks, and we worked on it daily. And what I realized was that they had a program that was meant to build our bodies and our understanding of our capabilities. Um, but, and there were rest days, but the same basic program was for, again, the two of us are in our 70s and those who are in their 20s and 30s. And there were some things that we just couldn't do. I found another program after that I began as soon as that 6 weeks was over. So that's the first part of the year. I jumped into an app called HasFit, HASFIT, capital HAS, heart and soul, fit, like fitness, HasFit app, YouTube channel, that geared everything they offer to our level of capability or our age or what we want out of exercise. So I do true strength to build muscle and lean muscle tissue. And I work out because the other one taught me that 45 minutes a day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I had always cycled every day. Now the cycling is the other 4 days. I wonder if she just said it. Um, oh, she wrote to me and I can't read it. Okay, I'll put it in the notes. So my point is that without thinking about it, I did a thing that meant that I had to make a commitment. And by golly, I did it. Part of it was because I wasn't going to wimp out. Janet wasn't going to see me wimp out, but I did it. I did all 6 weeks. And, the name of it just keeps coming to me. You know how that thing happens. And I was just saying it to myself earlier today, and I've just had a brain malfunction. And then I knew the value, but that it was more than I wanted to or could do comfortably, and went right into HasFit and kept that going without break 3 times a week. And this has been what, another 5, 6 months. Um, what about the legs part? When I had a photographer come the end of well, actually, just a few months ago in October, November, that's how quickly we threw this book together. She took photos in a lot of different positions and ways and different outfits. But this is a little black dress I have owned for almost 30 years. It went in and out of fitting. It's linen and it's lined linen and it has a beautiful back to it, a deep V back, and I love the dress. And I have a video about how I consider a little black dress to be a metaphor for a plant-based diet, the thing that you can always build everything else around. Ta-da. And I have examples in that video on my YouTube channel. But the point being that one of the photos I took was me sitting on steps. We went to the nearby college. These are, you can't see it because of the reflection, but these are columns. And we went to a nearby college, and I'm pointing because it was in walking distance. She came with all her gear, and I was just leaning against a pole, and there are a number of poles behind it. Well, we went to another area of the college. She taught there, actually, photography. And I sat on steps. So we've got the vertical now, cement steps, and I sat on steps with this dress on. Well, the dress hiked up. It hiked up quite high, but it's a side shot. And I sat back comfortably on the stairs. In any case, there I am, legs out, dressed really short, and that photo was meant to be the cover of the book, but when I saw the photo, I thought, what am I trying to sell here? And I didn't do that, but I still had the photo, and my art director put it on this most recent newsletter, and the newsletter went into Facebook, and oh my goodness, I got so many comments on that photo from men and women saying, wow, you've got great legs. I'm 5'2". I'm Italian, 92% Italian. I've got a big round butt and I've got short, stocky legs. They are not great legs, but guess what? Without ever thinking of legs or glutes, I was thinking of upper body strength, and I was liking the way my arms were starting to really show definition and some muscle tone. I wasn't thinking of anything else. And at first, when she put that photo up in the newsletter, I was nervous about what the attitude would be about that. And I got those comments, and all I could do was think to myself, look what you did, Dan. You had those legs and that rear end all your life and have never liked the way they looked. This happened to be a situation where I just let them hang out, and um, they looked pretty good. And I had a feeling of pride about my legs being, people said things like toned, wow, you must work out, things like that. And I'm proud of it. So what do I have to look at in this past year? Even more than the fact that I wrote a book that at the beginning of the year wasn't even in my radar. I thought I didn't have another book in me, but when I realized that people were saying I love your first book, but I don't know how to apply it. This is more the application. It's a workbook to a degree, but it's also a way of reframing everything we think. It was like my saying, I can't do gravity transformation. That's what it was, gravity transformation. I can't do gravity transformation, but I'm not going to let go of the dream to be stronger because I don't want to be so weak I can't lift things off shelves at stores. So instead, I just shifted it. Is that a good enough example? I'm done with that. So that's what I mean. Um, the things that we do count. They give us strength, they give us confidence, they give us belief in ourselves, and you don't have to wait until January to begin that kind of a decision or that kind of a resolve. The real strength is in choices that you make right away. During this in between season, when most people say, I'll do that next year, why not say to yourself, I can start something right now. People like us, people who want to age with power, to age powerfully, make decisions when it makes sense to make decisions, not putting them off until another time. So that's what I'm talking to you about today. How can I live today in a way that supports the person I want to be next year? Um, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing, and it's going to be a kick to see how much heavier those weights that I can lift that are double and triple what they were when I began um, gravity transformation. It's going to be interesting to see where all this goes. At 75, who thinks that way? Well, you do when you open yourself up to these kinds of possibilities. So, how can I live today in a way to support the person I want to be next year? You're already stepping into a stronger future just by asking yourself that question. Some simple ways to choose strength today may look like eat one healthy meal a day with intention. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. This is, well, pablum for somebody who's already whole food, plant-based. A lot of the people in this group are very determined in that way. But if you're not, make a decision, make a choice, make a change in a small way. Take a walk, even 10 minutes, and do it every day, maybe after a meal. Create a moment of stillness every day where you breathe or pray or meditate, no, breathe and pray or meditate to slow yourself down. Connect with someone you love in one way or another every day. And you know what I speak of when I speak of Barbara Fredrickson. I think in one of my last videos I called her Robertson. Her book 2.0, Love 2.0, has everything to do with micro moments of connectivity with anybody where you show yourself, they show their self, you're connecting. That is love. You can find that anywhere you go, especially at our Trader Joe's. I can't believe the conversations we have with the cashiers because I think they are coached to say, so, what do you have planned today? Or do you get to go home and rest now? Or whatever. And before you know it, there are amazing conversations. Um, so connect with somebody you love in one way or another and maybe let something go. What is not serving you? Maybe it's self-criticism. I came to that this year. That's another one of my new strengths. I had been haunted by feelings of inadequacy, inferiority because of things that I don't do right, that I chose to reframe. You've heard me say this before. With ADHD, you do wonky things. You think it, you do it, and there's three things that are already started, but you can always get back and get them done. I always do. But I found myself doing that. With dyslexia, I can't read well. There's a lot of things I can't do well and I can't spell. There's things that made me feel stupid throughout my entire life because I couldn't do what other people, even in my job, I owned a multi-million dollar company and couldn't do it. It was a franchise, a Tupperware franchise. We sold millions every year. I couldn't set up things the way other we were called distributors, set them up because my brain didn't work that way. And I was ashamed of it. And I kind of hid it, but I was able to manage to have one of the top Tupperware companies in the world based on the way I did things. And I am left-handed, which means I'm different in that way. In other words, they call that neurodivergent. I was ashamed of all of that. And every day, all day, I caught myself doing the wrong thing. And I want to say to you right now, stop it. In any way you do that, spend time to catch yourself doing something right. I reframed, I renamed all of that neurodivergent stuff to my superpowers. You may have heard me say this before. I now have superpowers. I can stop on a dime, change subjects immediately, and, and be cogent doing it. How? Because I'm ADHD. I don't read well, and I can speak better, like a deaf person can, or a blind person can hear better. So do that for yourself. These are simply examples that I would say to you. Catch yourself doing whatever it is that doesn't serve you well because you don't see the strength within you, and catch yourself doing something right on a daily basis. So, ending the year strong isn't about adding more, it's about returning to what matters. And what am I ready to put down? Maybe it's a habit that drains you. Stop and think about these things. Maybe it's a belief that limits you. Maybe it's an obligation that no longer fits in your life. Maybe it's a fear of disappointing others and maybe always saying yes to your own, mm, well, demise. And maybe it's the pressure of being too perfect, thinking you always have to do it and you have to do it right. Strength is not holding everything tightly. Strength is knowing when to let go. You cannot step into a new chapter while carrying the weight of the last one with you. So why wouldn't we do before the new year what we can to end this year strong? What will you release before December ends? And finally, instead of long resolutions, choose one keystone habit to carry with you from this year to the next, a keystone habit. It could be a daily green smoothie. That's what I ascribe to. 10 to 15-minute walks every day, maybe after dinner. A simple nightly reflection where you let your mind reflect on something good, powerful, true, and it gets your mind used to taking that kind of a pattern rather than, let's say, going down a dusty road and leading you nowhere but, again, self-criticism. A commitment to better sleep. If you're not sleeping well, I had 1 or 2 days, and it had everything to do with getting this thing done, the book, and that I didn't sleep more than 6.5 hours. I couldn't think straight. And I usually sleep 8. That's my thing. Nan, you find a way, but sleep 8 hours. And if you don't sleep well, and this is neurological, this isn't just fanciful thinking or words. If you don't sleep well, you are not the same person and don't think the same way you would if you did. Um, and then finally, any habit that you want to add that allows you to stay in closer contact with the people in your life and the people you love. We are tribal. We do benefit and bloom around others. Small habits done consistently create powerful futures. This is lifestyle medicine. This is Blue Zones Health. This is how you can end the year strong. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for a new calendar. You already know what supports your health, peace, your purpose, and your well-being. End the year, end it strong. And ending it strong means you close the year consciously, you honor your journey, you nourish your body, you protect your peace, and you stay connected. You walk into January aligned already if you do these things, and when you cultivate strength now, January 1st becomes a continuation, not a restart. And finally, I'll ask again. How are you ending the year strong? Not through perfection, not through pressure, but through intention, a healing habit, an act of self-respect, a moment of gratitude, one choice that supports life the way you want to live it and look back and be proud of for it with clarity, compassion, and courage. This year isn't over. There's still time to finish strong and begin even stronger. I hope there was something in here that was helpful to you. I appreciate your being here. I don't know you. If you like what you see, though, subscribe and let me help you as I help myself to age powerfully with strong strength and resolve into our, you may be 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even beyond. Have a great day. I know I'm going to. I appreciate you. I love you and hope to see you again.